bad faith. Unfortunately, the match has been called off without a ball being bowled. Lots of rain falling on the ground, and the rain was just incessant, and there was puddles and pools. So instead of having a little swim on the outfield, the umpires have decided that they're just going to call the game off. Well, we're here with My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Joy Bhattacharjya, Pommie Mbangwa. Gentlemen, that is indeed sad. I did think they could have had a row off, a little exercise.
Like the Oxford-Cambridge boat race.
Like the Oxford-Cambridge boat race, right? Which a lot of people have seen in, there's the Harvard one as well that they do in Social Network, that film, they see. They could have done one of those, swim off.
In fact, it's
scuba diving.
One of the most best commentary lines in history of commentary was this one guy on the Oxford-Cambridge boat race who says, the two boats are there together, I can't make out who's ahead. It's either Oxford or Cambridge. Wow.
You know, my favorite Oxford-Cambridge joke? The Oxford gentleman and a Cambridge gentleman are both using the facilities, using the men's room. And then the Cambridge man just finishes and comes to wash his hands. And he says, well, a Cambridge man always washes his hands after he relieves himself. And then the Oxford man just finishes and walks out the door. And he turns to the Cambridge man and says, the Oxford man learns not to dirty his hands when he's doing his business.
Clearly you're biased. you say it is a joke you heard wherever. But you're biased towards Oxford, aren't you?
Perhaps I am.
Maybe.
I like the shoes they wear. The Oxfords. Okay, well, so there is no game. So the first T20 of the three-match series has been rained off because it was scheduled in Dharamsala in the middle of September. And who would have thought there'd be rain there, you know? Who can predict that? Except the Met Department. Who really can predict that? And of course, now the action moves to Chandigarh, which is just a few hundred kilometers away from there. So we may just have a one-match series by the end of it in Bangalore.
If they're running away from the rain, they obviously aren't running too far.
Yeah, they're not outrunning the rain. But the good thing is that, of course, the prediction for Mohali is that there's going to be no rain. But so hopefully we'll get a game in there. But it really is a bummer because, I mean, you think about the fans in a place, of course, fans on television and the internet world round. And then all the people in Dharam, it's not an easy ground to get to, right? Joy, you've been up there. You've been up there, Pommie. It's not an easy ground to get to. People come from outside. They're probably not Dharamshala people anyway. So they've come from a lot of other cities. And to just have that happen, it's a bummer.
Yeah, and also because they don't get a whole lot of cricket. I know this, over the years there's been more and more cricket played at Dharamshala, but they don't generally get a whole lot of cricket there. So when there is a chance to watch India play against whoever, all the people from around the area and those who've travelled, as you say, would like to get that chance. It's unfortunate if it rains.
Yeah, really.
It needs to be scheduled when it doesn't.
Geography book. Look at geography books.
Geography book
for scheduling it.
The other part, you think of the players as well. In these times, economic times, for foreign players who are visitors to India, it's so important that they get on the park at every opportunity so that they can show themselves off. Now, for the young South African fellows who turn up here, and you said before when we went live at the beginning, that there are these names that nobody knows.
Yeah.
And with the Indian Premier League and other 2020 tournaments around the world, these guys want to put their best foot forward and kind of be seen on this stage. So the more games, the better, because it gives more of them an opportunity. When you get one that's rained out, nobody plays, and effectively what stays in the minds of the franchise owners and selectors for those franchises as they make up their teams is the guys who were there before. So it doesn't give these guys a chance, because you've got to do it here in India in front of everybody in order for you to be front of mind.
They need their remember the name moment.
Yeah, correct.
They need their remember the name moment. That's what they need.
That's correct.
And they have one less game to do it now.
Correct. An IPL auction is just about 2.5 months away.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. Of course, there's still two games to be played. And what's the 11 that the two squads would be chosen out of? Let's have a look at the India squad for this T20 tour. There's been a lot of changes here, as well. There's just been a lot of players sort of moving up and down. But there you go, all-rounders, bowlers, batsmen. You have the players there. Who are your 11, or rather, who are the ones you want to talk about? Who are the ones you're leaving out? Or would you play? There's been a lot of talk, just to get things rolling. There's been a lot of talk that India would like to play all the all-rounders because Virat has said that all other teams are batting till number 9. So why should we not bat till number 9?
Fair enough. Fair enough as a thought process. But as I look at that team, the first thing that comes to my mind is you're playing against South Africa, and in the last little while in white ball cricket, Yuzvendra Chahal as well as Kuldeep Yadav, right? Those two wrist spinners have absolutely tormented South Africa.
Yeah.
So the South Africans, as they look at that, are quite happy. They look at it and they say, "Whoa, thank goodness we don't have to play any of those." Washington Sundar, Jadeja, no mysteries. Not saying they're not good bowlers. They're good bowlers. They can still knock anybody over. But it's less to deal with if you're a young batsman from South Africa and now not having to deal with the wrist spin. So I think whatever the plan is going forward, wanting a longer batting lineup and all the rest, it needs to be specific. Perhaps this, from India, is a sort of thought process that says, yeah, we could use those guys. We know what they can do, but we're trying to find others whom we're going to integrate with those, wrist spinners. I don't know. I just think they should have.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree that, how many of them would have played a bowler like Kuldeep Yadav?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have played a guy like him that often. Even a Yuzvendra Chahal, the kind of quality he brings to his leg spin, they wouldn't have. So clearly, this is a decision which is looking forward. Yeah, and if you look at those stats, these numbers are pretty decent. And those are very, very good numbers. I mean, averaging almost 2 wickets a game in a T20 match is big. The other thing I ask you, it's a very simple question, that in a 50-over match, you need a longer batting order. Okay?
Yeah.
In a 20-over match, you don't necessarily need to bat to number 9.
Yeah.
Maybe 8, 7 definitely, maybe 8, you need a decent 8. But 9, 10, 11, you really don't need 4 all-rounders. So I'd say that, okay, if Virat is feeling that our batting tail is a bit long, I'd curtail it. But I wouldn't take out all of those. I don't need that much in a T20 match.
Yeah.
In a 50-over match, I may still look to go up till 9. In a 20, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, it's what Ajay Jadeja always says. Ajay Jadeja, he says that in a 2020 match. He says, your 4, 5, 6, 7 even may not get a bat, but all your bowlers have to bowl 4 overs, right?
Exactly.
He's saying, so understand if you're playing 5 bowlers plus 1 backup. Yeah. He says, but you don't need 9 batsmen.
Exactly.
Because if your top 5, 6 are not doing it, there's very little that 7, 8, 9 can do to really win you the game. They can salvage it perhaps a little bit.
Yeah, where India are fortunate is that the guys who they are playing in the side as number 7, 8 and 9 who can both bat and bowl are pretty decent bowlers themselves.
Yeah.
Where it becomes a problem is when you're playing 7, 8 and 9 and they're kind of half and half. They're not
really
quite fully as bowlers in your side. Because what you want is guys who you say, on a normal day, with all things being equal, you can bank on the 4 overs of each of those guys.
Yeah.
And so that's how you would pick your team first of all, to have those guys, those 5 guys first of all, and you're going to get your overs. And if there's somebody within the rest of the order that can also bowl, then that is a bonus. So for instance, Hardik Pandya, you can bat him at 6. You can bat him before, of course, but you can bat him at 6, and you know that he can give you 4 overs as well, right? So if that is the case, then that's fine. But if you're doing it the other way around, where you're going 1 to number 8 and number 9, and then I've got 2 guys I know can give me 4 overs, but these other 3 and 4 and 5, well, we'll see, we'll mix and match. Then I think it gives you too much choice, and it also puts you in a place where sometimes the captain will choose the wrong one just simply because of choosing from plenty.
So many variables.
Yeah.
So many variables, yeah.
I'll tell you one more thing. It's a very interesting thing. There's this Nobel Prize winning psychologist, won Nobel Prize for economics, called Daniel Kahneman. He wrote a very famous book called, Thinking Fast and Slow. So they found something which is proven. It's that human beings have a huge tendency towards what we call loss aversion. So if I tell you that you're going to lose 10 rupees, okay, or you could win, how much would you want to win? If I want to bet, you can win. If I say that you win 10 rupee 1 paisa, you should be actually taking the bet, because then the odds are slightly in your favor.
Correct.
It turns out that you go up to 21, 22 rupees before you think it's a fair bet. That means, in a simple word, we are more scared of losing than we are wanting to win.
Yeah.
So what happens is one result where suddenly you're down to 7 and your tail is exposed, okay, will make you forget the 15 results where your bowlers actually won it for you.
Wow.
So assigning greater value to your loss.
You always assign greater value to your loss than to your wins.
Yeah.
You don't remember
Even
the
if
wins.
It's the same.
Yeah.
But
But there's also a thing, right? I mean, sociologically, if you study India, Indians in general are a very risk-averse kind of race, right? There's a risk aversion that has been generational in India, which is changing a little bit now. But you know, that's not something, again, and that comes down to the same thing, which is you're scared of losing more than you're wanting to
Correct.
win.
And you remember that one match that you lost when your tail was exposed and have forgotten the, 7-8 matches that your bowlers actually won for you, where you batted till 6 and 7 and it was all right.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, you said, boss, I won 5 like this, I've lost just 1 like that. I should be bowling my regular bowlers.
Yeah.
We never think that way.
Play the odds, man. I'm telling you. Well, anyway, let's have a look and say if you play the odds, who are the 11 that would play from this squad. You, of course, looking and you're saying there's no Jasprit Bumrah, right? So Bumrah has been kept fresh after the West Indies test up till the South Africa test. So he gets September off. Hardik Pandya comes back into the mix again. But there are your bowlers. You've got the Chahar brothers or the Chahar cousins.
Yeah, well, I suppose let's make it simple. Shall we not go with the batters first and make it a simple process?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with the batters. Do you want
1
to
and
see
2.
the 4 you're leaving out, or you just picking your 11?
No, pick your 11.
Pick your 11.
Yeah, 1 and
Let's
2.
go.
And as I look at that, I'm just going Rohit and Shikhar have to be up at the top. It's simple for me.
Virat at
Discussion of the third. Skipper is at 3. 4. Where are the names?
So there's Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Manish Pandey.
Shreyas plays every time.
So
for me.
Shreyas.
I think
Rishabh plays 5.
I think Rishabh has to play at 5. Hardik's at 6.
So then it's Krunal at 7.
Yeah, Krunal at 7.
Jadeja?
I'm looking through. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which I want from Jadeja or Sundar, because I'm thinking of South Africa's team. So up at the top for South Africa is De Kock. So you might want a spinner, a sort of off spinner.
Yeah.
You might want him.
Because
And you don't-
Jadeja
you
and
don't wanna
Krunal are
have
similar
two.
bowlers.
Yeah, you don't want to have 2 of them.
Yeah.
And so the decision is essentially Krunal against Jadeja.
Yeah.
And so Jadeja would miss out and Sundar would get into that side.
And then you have to pick two fast bowlers, right? No, 3 fast bowlers.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4
5,
fast
3,
bowlers.
yeah. Now, there's a spinner there also, Rahul Chahar.
Oh, sorry, there's a spinner as well. Sorry, yeah. So 3 of those 4.
Yeah, easy enough for me. I don't know if it's difficult for others. I like Khalil.
Yeah.
I think I like his spirit. I like how he goes at things. Navdeep Saini's got decent pace. Going with him, and I'd go with the leg as well.
So the leggy. So then you're playing 3 spinners. 3 spinners, and then you've got 3 quicks because you've got
'cause I've got
Khalil,
Hardik.
Navdeep, and Hardik.
And Hardik, yeah.
That's a good bowling attack.
No, absolutely. I completely, I am with it, and that's exactly what I was leaning towards. You need Chahar also, because Rahul Chahar, again, young, inexperienced team play the leggy every time.
Yeah.
Play guys that they're not used to. No batsman has played enough leggies to be experienced. You need certain amount of international experience to be able to pick these guys. It doesn't come that easy. So I'd definitely play them. They're far more used to playing, bowlers the quality or the type of, say, Navdeep Saini. But the Chahar gives them something that'll worry them.
So we'll just pull the squad up again. I'm going to throw another sort of rabbit in the mix.
Yeah.
Is it a rabbit in the mix? Is it?
Rabbit.
This seems
Gonna
sounds
pull a
wrong,
rabbit
doesn't
out the hat.
Rabbit out of the hat.
What in the mix?
it? Something in the mix.
Spanner in the works.
Spanner in the works. Something in the mix as well. A DJ in the mix? All right, let's go. So let's say if you got Hardik at 6, we pull the squad up again. You've got Hardik at 6. You play one of Krunal or Jadeja at 7. Right? Yeah. And then you play all 4 of the bowlers on the right column.
Good.
You could do that. I mean, there's no problem.
You've got a problem then is that you have somebody from one of them to play at 8. So probably Deepak Chahar. Deepak Chahar can knock the ball around. We've seen that in the IPL.
Yeah.
You play him at 8.
So
and then whoever pads up first to play 9. Right?
Yeah, I think you're thinking first of all should be, will they get your opposition out? So that's my thing. Like, so the first part is as you pick Saini and Khalil and Hardik as the three spinners, and you pick Sundar and Krunal as well as Chahar.
Yeah.
I'm thinking wickets. I'm thinking, can you get wickets up front? Can you get wickets through the middle? And when you get back to the back end, will you be able to continue to get wickets in sort of defense, right, as they try and go along? And yeah, with those 6, I think that's sufficient. So yeah, wouldn't really look at it any other way. And if I needed to swap it around and have Jadeja come in, he wouldn't come in because he can bat. He'd come in because perhaps the bowling of Krunal's not going so well, or of one of the others, right? So he'd come into the side.
Yeah, I think also it's a straight swap between Kunal and Jadeja, really.
Yeah, but sometimes you'd have to swap. Maybe the young leggy doesn't go so well, and you think that it's kind of, it's under the pressure, it's not quite getting it out. Do you back him for the 2 games that go? Do you play him one and pull him out? And many times that will depend on results and what you think in looking at the guy. And Jadeja might then be the guy to play in that spot, which does what the skipper's been talking about, lengthens the batting order even more, but it gives you 2 left-arm spinners, which sometimes can be a problem, but with regard to experience, Jadeja's experienced enough. He knows how to handle himself, and unless he's backed into a corner, Kohli will use him also at the right times, and Krunal.
Well, Krunal Pandya, the thing that he has going for him, definitely a big match player. He's got the big heart that they say. He's got the man of the match in an IPL final for the Mumbai Indians. He's got 3 man of the match awards in the 13 T20Is that he's played for India. So he likes it. He likes the big stage. He's one of those. There's a word in Hindi, Pommie, called jigar. Jigra. Jigra means he's got a big heart.
Big heart.
Pumping in. There's players that you see, right?
He's got mongrel in him.
He's got mongrel. There you go. Yeah. So there's enough players you've seen who, big stage, big pressure. For them, it's rocket fuel.
Yeah, and I think he and his brother are like that. They both want the big moments. And you were talking about loss aversion just now, where in essence you could flip that the other way. There's greater gain, isn't there? For the guy, there are many guys who look at things and they'll look at it and say, "Whoo, this is
I could win this match."
Yeah, the others will look at it and say, "Whoo, this is a tough situation. Whoever has to do this has got a tough task, right?" And the next guy comes, which is Krunal and Hardik, and say, "Big situation. Well, win this match. This could be the making of me. They're the ones I want to do this for us. We got it. We can pull this off."
The players you've played with, against, who the players you saw this in?
Oh, I've got to think hard now. In thinking of players I've played with, there was a guy called Andy Blicknote, who was an all-rounder.
Did a lot against India.
Yeah, he's an all-rounder, bowled fast, and he could hit the ball left-handed batter. He loved situations. He almost only played in situations. It wasn't, you know what I mean? And that's one guy. Flower, of course. Flower A seemed to relish when the chips were down. Those are the 2 guys that.
So I was going to say, which Flower?
Yeah,
which Flower?
Flower A.
Flower?
Yeah, and then just kind of looking around. Dale Steyn from South Africa.
Yeah.
Typical guy. I mean, he's done it forever, right? And now retired from test matches. But particularly in test matches, he was that guy, right? He was the man who Smith would go to and say, right, I need something to happen. In fact, I think sometimes it was the other way around, where he'd go to Smith, right?
Give me the ball.
Me, now, I must do something now. Let's go. What are we waiting for? And take the ball, bang, open the game up. So yeah, I think there are guys like that. And if you have them in your team,
that's how you get 400 plus test wickets, right? You got to go to the captain and just give this to me.
Yeah. Rabada now actually is another one. Mongrel, big time.
Mongrel. Yeah. We've learned a new term today, and we like it.
It's actually an Australians use that. Australians, and as you're talking, and what did you say it was in Hindi?
Jigar.
Yeah. So I thought of that.
So the whole thing about mongrel is that you're not purebred, So you're not like English and you're a Pom.
And straight down the line.
You're mongrel. You'll fight. You'll not give up. You relish a fight. Mongrels relish a fight. And Australians use it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Whereas in England it was looked on by the aristocracy. Something like that too.
A dog from the lower caste.
I say mixed breeds.
Mixed breeds, I tell you. Nothing pure about this. Wow, wow, and out you go. Right, let's have a look at the South African
Just
team.
not cricket.
I was going to go with not just cricket, but Pommie said it's just not cricket only. But it is. Back to the cricket, South African squad. Let's have a look at it. And the 11 that, Pommie, you think would take the field?
Yeah, Quinn de Kock up at the top. There's a bit of a juggling that they must do, and it's only in sorting out in what order those batsmen go. They've only got 5, so it's not as if you can kind of think about it too much and leave one out. You can't. You've only got 5 batsmen. So which order do they go in? And that issue is, well, Miller will probably be the last of the batsmen, so he'll bat as the number 5, and then Van der Dussen, I think, will be number 4. Then it's a question of sorting out, do they want Themba Bavuma to be up at the top and play as an opener? And that would mean, I think it would be Reza Hendricks would then go to number 3, but he's used to being an opener as well. In looking at it, Rassie van der Dussen's also an opener, but he's transitioned really well for South Africa and getting a place in the middle and batting nicely in one-day international cricket. So he'll be okay there to come in at number 4. So that's sorted. Then when it comes to the all-rounders, Dwayne Pretorius batted a 3 for South Africa in a 2020 game and got 70 and being given his chance. And that's the innings, I think, in the end that got him into the World Cup squad. Because they were umming and ahhing. Do they know if they want him to go, if they don't? So he showed he can hit a big ball, and he never lets anyone down with ball in hand. Petlugayo is a shoo-in. He generally gets wickets for them. With the bat is where he hasn't done well. So he'll probably come in after Dwayne Pretorius. So that's 6 and 7. George Linder is an all-rounder as well. You could probably slide Bjorn Fortuin into the all-rounder bracket as well. He bats decently. He probably does better in 4-day cricket than he does in one-day cricket, but he can bat as well. But him and George Linder, Bjorn Fortuin and George Linder, both left-arm spinners. Which one is in? Not entirely sure there, because definitely Tabrez Shamsi, he becomes sort of first.
He's a Tahir now of the future.
Yeah, he becomes first spinner now that Tahir is gone.
Rabada obviously.
Rabada is in. Bjorn Hendricks went to the World Cup. Junior Dalla gets wickets. And one's left arm, which generally says if you're going to have one, you want to just vary the bowling attack a little bit. So he's ahead a little bit. So you go Bjorn Hendricks.
Rabada, obviously.
Rabada. And then Anrik Nokia, because of the pace.
Yeah,
exactly. 150 pace, plus.
He can bowl some quick spells. So perhaps he goes into the side. Then you pick which spinner you want and which second spinner you want if you want. A second.
Whoa, it's quite interesting what they've done, right? They've decided that we want the 10 wickets, right? They're like, we want to pick the 10 wickets. Their squad shows that it's fine. Our guys will get the runs. They definitely don't have batting all the way till 9, right? That looks tough for them. But they've just decided they want to pretty much back their bowlers on this one. So it's quite interesting. Well, we'll know for the second game because first game's been rained out. So we'll know just before Mohali who the 11 is for South Africa, what the 11 is for India. That's going to be at 6:30 p.m. On Wednesday. And I guarantee you, it's going to be at 6:30. It's no rain. Hang on.
No. It's going to guarantee.
Wait, let me get the joke.
Guarantee. Not just. It's a money back guarantee.
Oh, like that one.
By the way, I just want to tell you, I gave a few of those in West Indies as well on the live broadcast. And you saw how that worked out, right?
It's a pity.
Ashish Nair and Ajay Jadeja were after me then saying, you said money back guarantee, where's the money? I was like, nobody gave any money for me to give back. You should have put the money down. I would have given you some back. 10 rupee, 1 paisa for the 10 rupees. I would have given him back that. But right now we're going to tell you, you of course can make your team as well. You may agree or disagree with us. It's the only way to do it is make your My 11 Circle team. You've of course downloaded the app and you pick the game. That game is on Wednesday the 18th. It's India versus South Africa. Meant to be the second T20. Will of course be the first one that's played because today has been rained out. And then of course you can beat Dada if you can. And of course we will have on that day some expert advice as well from Joy and Pommie on who to pick in your team, right? You've given them all the expert advice right now. You've given it to them. You got it. So make your team accordingly.
Any more?
We'll try. We'll try.
Okay, we'll try.
Things Things can happen in 48 hours. Who knows?
Keep on giving.
Keep on giving.
The gift that keeps giving.
If Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, just keep on giving. That's who we have in the studio today. All right, so our joy factor question that was asked a little while ago. Over to you, sir. Give us the answer. Give us the winner.
Okay, and the question was, which cricketer who works as an international coach specializing in another discipline has actually taken the maximum number of 5-wicket hauls in ODIs? And it turns out it's a man who was very much watching the rain drop down in Dharamsala. It's Lance Klusener, who's surprisingly South Africa's batting coach, but he's got 5 wickets in an innings 6 times.
Yeah, but listen, I'll tell you. Don't laugh at that, because I used to really enjoy his batting.
Oof.
I thought the guy could really hit the ball.
No, he
And
could
for
bat.
T20 cricket.
But he could bat, he could bowl. That 99 World Cup was magic. He did everything.
Yeah, he did it.
Except run.
Except, you had to spoil the party. You had to spoil the
It's
party.
right there, you know. I should be ashamed of myself. That was a low-hanging fruit,
And
man.
it's just like, what?
Should not have gone for it.
Had to go
Low-hanging
there,
fruit.
didn't you? Look, it seems, and it's funny because he started by saying, "Ooh, I used to love his batting."
I love his batting.
And then almost as if it's the moment that defines the guy, you can't say, except running.
We were
or
talking
whatever.
about 99. We were talking about 99. Everybody remembers that incident. Low-hanging fruit, I went for it. That is horrible. I should not have. But coming back to Lance Klusener's batting, big fan of his batting. And if South Africa's batting lineup can show even 50% of that talent and 50% of that hitting distance, they'll do the job with just those 5 batsmen.
Yeah, well, Miller's good batter, and it's nice for Miller to be able to talk to Klusener.
Peas in a pod.
Yeah, correct. And they have worked together before because Klusener coached the Durban franchise, who are the Dolphins, and Miller is from there. He did move away and went to the Free State. He's subsequently gone back, but Klusener has no longer got that job. Of course, he's got the national job. So nice for him to be able to kind of pick the guy's brain and even if he doesn't, to get some sort of suggestions from Klusener, because literally is like for like, and they're looking at all the same areas and the same things, difficulties and successes, you know. So that's nice for them. But with regard to South Africa's 2020 side, and earlier I said that there's some guys who are not there. Yes, retirements and so forth, but also Faf du Plessis not being within that batting lineup. It means that it's an opportunity for somebody else to step up, to show that they can, you know, they can do what Faf du Plessis does, because he's really good. I've found in the last year and a half or so, maybe even 2 years, he's been the most adaptable batsman that South Africa has had as the captain of the Test team, One-Day team, and 2020 side. And he's been successful in doing whatever role it is, whether it's come in and stabilize the ship, or it's come in really early in a 2020 game and make sure that you maximize the power play. He's been able to bat a long innings at a decent tempo. He's done that as well. So these guys, 5 of them, have this chance, and they have Klusener to kind of help them along with regard to being explosive and powerful in 2020 cricket.
Oh yeah, I mean, Indian IPL fans know what Faf du Plessis can do in the shorter format. You know why Faf is not playing? Because there's no Dhoni. Yeah, if there was Dhoni, Faf would be in the team, man. You know he loves him. He trusts him. All right, who do we love and trust? We love and trust the winner. Who got the first correct answer in? Who was it? Arnav, 7, Arnav 1. Well, congratulations, Arnav, and you did get the correct answer, and you get a thumbs up from Joy. There you go, standing right there.
Well done.
You can give him a little cold drink. Yeah, well done.
Reminds me of that county club ad.
The country club ad,
Country
that
club,
guy.
yeah.
Yes, New Year's Eve party, come to country club. I think only people in Mumbai would know this. I think those.
No, it's all over the country.
It's all over the country.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. Oh, we need to get that person replaced by you on the hoarding. We get you now next time. You see Joy on those hoardings. Come to New Year's Eve party. Come on, come with me. All right, our party is done now. So this party is going to recongregate on the 18th, which is Wednesday.
Before you go, I'm sure everyone at home absolutely loves this as well. I love how you go from being this... Right, we're done now. Yeah. Everyone's probably watching and thinking, is he okay? Like,
The is he okay question, science has been looking an answer for that question for a very long time. But I'll tell you what the theory is.
Right, go on.
These guys pay me so much money that I figure I've got to be at least 2 guys to give them the value.
It's a good answer. I like it.
So as I was saying,
Oh, ungovernable.
see, here's the thing. There's 2 of them that side. There's got to be 2 this side as well. And otherwise, you can't keep up with Messrs. Buffet and Gates on this side.
Oh,
I'm a very giving person. Well, I'm going to be giving them the evening off now. Gentlemen, easy day's work. 8:30 p.m. wrap up.
I love it.
thank you very much.
You know this.
Where's that to go?
It only clocks in as a half day, you know that, right? It only clocks in as a half day. All right, so we're going to have a full day, of course, on Wednesday. As I told you, Pommie's not convinced, but of course I said it's a money-back guarantee. We're going to have a full game in Mohali on Wednesday. So send us your money on Twitter if you want to. On #Cricbuzz Live. It's been a lot of fun talking cricket and not just cricket with you here. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much,
Thank
Pommie.
you.
Thank you for being here. Big thank you to all of you for watching. This was my 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. And Gaurav Kapur saying good night.